Hello students, today I am going to teach you planning in India. Unit 1. In Unit 1 we are going to study the planning in India. Okay, and in planning in India the first topic is strategy of Indian planning. How the planning in India was undertaken and how the government of India after independence has started planning. What strategies were used? What different kinds of methods of planning were used? All of this we are going to study today. Okay, uh, you can see that in India, after independence, India has developed like anything. You can see there are so many kinds of developments that in each field of India, in each sector of economy, there are development. Okay, and not only that, you can say that there are so many limitations also. We could not solve so many problems. So these all are because of planning, uh, either because of right kind of planning or wrong policies or wrong kind of planning. So we are going to evaluate how Indian planning was materialized and how that led to achievements and failures. In strategy of planning, when we want to study strategy of planning, we can divide the period of time into two time periods. One time period is pre-economic reform strategy of planning, and second time period is post-economic reform strategy of planning. That is, you can see that before 1991, when economic reforms were not undertaken, there was a period of time that the strategy of planning was different. And after economic reforms were undertaken in 1991, the strategy of planning was changed altogether. So you can see that strategy of planning we can study in two parts: pre economic reform strategy of planning and post economic reform strategy of planning. Now we will look at the differential analysis between pre-economic reform strategy and post-economic reform strategy. How the planning strategy was different between these two periods of time. Okay, and in both time periods there was a different strategy of planning that we should understand very clearly, because there is a clear differentiation between these two strategies of planning. There is a major differentiation. You can say that planning was changed, might be in uh, every year, but there is a major differentiation between these two time periods, so we have to study the major differentiations. Okay, what was the pre-economic reform strategy? We can see that in pre-economic reform strategy before 1991, there was a socialistic pattern of economy. The government of India wanted to achieve the socialistic pattern of society, and because in the Constitution of India we have accepted the socialistic pattern of society, so establishing socialistic pattern of society, we wanted to achieve the socialistic pattern of economy, where we needed to give, government of India gave more importance to public sector than private sector. We developed public sector first. We gave more importance to public sector. We gave more importance to the industries established by the state, not private industries. Initially, initial phase of planning, we gave more importance to public sector. Okay, and if you compare it with post economic reform strategy, our focus of importance was changed from public sector to private sector. We wanted to establish in the this that period of time capitalistic pattern of economy. We focused more on capitalistic tendencies. Our economy, took the capitalistic orientations. Okay, so after 1991, we gradually became more capitalistic in nature. Okay, the second point, what we can say that in pre-economic reform strategy of planning, we had closed economy model. Our economy was more or less closed economy system. We emphasized on import substitution, and gradually we wanted to expand our import, but not in and that pace which was required. More or less we had closed economy model. Okay, and in post economic reform strategy, we gave importance to open economy model. We gave importance to market economy. More and more, we opened up our economy. All sectors of economy were gradually opened up. Okay, so this differentiation of closed economy model and open economy model. Okay, the third differentiation or third point what we can discuss is in pre-economic reform strategy of planning, we had focus on centralized planning, whereas in post-economic reform strategy we had focus on decentralized planning. Okay, uh, here you can see there is decentralized planning. Okay, so what is the difference between these two? You can see that in centralized planning system, you can see that the uh, the plans are generally made by the union government, central government, and those are generally implemented in states and at local level. Okay, the plans are generally made by central government at union level, but in decentralized planning you can see that the local units and state government play an important role in planning. So that was the difference between these two periods of planning. Okay, now you can see that uh, the next point what we can see that in that there is restricted international trade and investment. In pre-economic reform strategy we had very restricted international trade and investment, whereas in post-economic reform strategy the focus was on expansion of international trade and investment. We encouraged uh, you know international trade and investment. We uh, invited more and more foreign investment in our country. So in the next point also we can see that in pre-economic reform strategy we had so many restrictions on foreign direct investment in India before 1991, but after 1991 you can see that we had given a lot of encouragement to foreign direct investment. We invited foreign direct investment. You can see that there are so many India investment summit, and many states were also organizing these kind of summits to encourage foreign direct investment in their state or in India, but in general. Okay, so so that is what the difference is. uh, Another point of differentiation is uh, in pre-economic reform strategy of planning in India before 1991, we had fixed exchange rate of Indian currency and restricted convertibility of rupee for balance of payments account. Okay, the exchange rate of Indian currency was fixed by the Indian government, Indian state, mostly in before 1991. But after 1991, this rate has become flexible. Exchange rate of India has become, you know, flexible. So the in closed economy model, generally you have fixed exchange rate, and in open economy model, market economy requires your exchange rate to be flexible. So that is what we have followed in post economic reform strategy. Moreover, you can see that convertibility of rupee was also very restricted in closed economy model. Okay. On there are two accounts of balance of payment. What is balance of payment? You can see that balance of payment is the country's transactions with outside world. Whatever transactions are there in in import export transactions or investment transactions, all are generally noted in balance of payment. There are two accounts in balance of payment: current account and capital account. Trade is comes in in current account, and investment transactions come in capital account. So all these, we our rupee was not convertible for all these accounts. So there was lot of uh, there were lot of restrictions on trade and investment before 1991. But after 1991, post 1991, post economic reform strategy, we had a lot of we have expanded the convertibility, we have increased the convertibility of rupee for balance of payment account, both current and capital. We have uh, you know uh, full convertibility on current account now, and almost we have expanded the convertibility for capital account. We don't have very full convertibility on capital account today also, but still the convertibility is very much increased. Current account, we have full convertibility. Okay, so that is what you can see, that is very much essential for trade and investment development. Okay, so in that way, pre-economic reform strategy was actually restricting the economic trade and investment, international trade and investment, while post-economic reform strategy have focused on increasing the international trade and investment. Okay, another point what we can discuss is in pre-economic reform strategy, we believed in trickle-down theory for economic development. What is trickle-down theory of economic development? In trickle-down theory of economic development, you can see that uh, government will believe that if there is economic growth in the country, its benefits will be shared by all the people of the country. That is was belief, but it was not materialized. So that is why in post economic reform period, we had uh, you know um, change the planning strategy. In that change planning strategy, we adopted targeted planning for economic development of the poor, the the lower strata of society, and the you know the poor people were targeted, and targeted planning was started for economic development of the poor. Okay, so this is what the differentiation between these two approach. And another one point very important is, in pre-economic reform strategy, we had more or less directive planning. Directive planning is generally uh, implemented in communist type of countries, where you have socialistic pattern of society. If you want to implement that, you will have directive planning. Directive planning means central government will, with its direction, will make the plan, and with more force or more directions, it will try to implement the planning. Okay, it will be more or this kind of planning is generally implemented in communist countries. But you can see in post economic reform strategy, we had changed the strategy of planning from directive planning to indicative planning. Now this indicative planning, in indicative planning, it is more or less implemented in market economic system and capitalistic countries, where by indication, where making the indicative policies, we try to achieve the targets. So in this way you can understand that in pre-economic reform strategy and post-economic reform strategy there are so many differences, which that is what I have discussed today. Already I have sent you video on this, but still I am sending you this video again for your revision. Okay, after this you are going to study the in the next slide I am going to discuss the achievements and limitations of Indian planning in India. Okay, thank you so much. Dear students, in this slide you can see that we will talk about Indian planning, the achievements and limitations of Indian planning. Okay, the first point of Indian planning uh, we'll discuss. But before that, let me tell you, the Indian state has done planning for last 70 years, and in this 70 years, you can see that we have made several achievements, and also there are so many limitations also. So we'll look at first achievements and then some limitations of Indian planning. Okay, um, दोस्तों, आज हम इंडियन प्लानिंग के बारे में पढ़ने वाले हैं। और इस स्लाइड में आप देख सकते हैं कि इंडियन प्लानिंग के कुछ अचीवमेंट्स हैं और कुछ लिमिटेशंस हैं। लास्ट 70 ईयर्स हुए हैं हम इंडियन स्टेट प्लानिंग कर रहा है, और इस प्लानिंग की वजह से there are so many achievements and there are so many limitations. Main achievements and main limitations we are going to see. Okay, uh, first point is increase in national and per capita income. आपको पता होगा कि compared to the time of independence, you can see that our national and per capita income has increased because of planning. Because of economic planning, there is a very large increase in national and per capita income. If you compare our income, which was at the time of independence, and now if you compare our national income is very high and per capita income has also increased. So this is what the achievement of Indian planning. Okay, the second achievement of Indian planning is progress in agriculture. You can see that there was green revolution in India, and because of green revolution the output of agriculture has increased manifold. So that is what one of the achievement of Indian planning. आपको पता होगा कि एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में इंडिया ने बहुत प्रोग्रेस की है, और इसकी वजह से हमारा जो एग्रीकल्चर आउटपुट है वो बहुत बड़ा है, उसमें बहुत वृद्धि हुई है. सो दैट इज़ ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द यू नो achievement of Indian planning. The third point, you can see that in India we have large scale industrialization, and we have established a strong industrial base. So that is what the achievement of Indian planning. Okay, हमारे देश में जो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन हुआ है, और आपको वो भी पता होगा कि हमारे देश में आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस हमने एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस एस्टेब्लिश किया है इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर में. सो दैट इज़ ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द अचीवमेंट ऑफ इंडियन प्लानिंग. The fourth point is development of economic infrastructure. इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं कि रोड्स, ब्रिजेस, डैम्स, और इस तरीके का बहुत बैंकिंग सेक्टर, इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर्स, और बहुत जो भी जो डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स हैं इंडिया में, उसका पूरा जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है वो हमने डेवलप किया है. द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द very big achievement of Indian planning. The fifth point is diversification of exports and import. Okay, so due to economic planning, we could diversify our export at very high level. You can see our exports, you can compare our export from the time of independence and now our export. We were exporting some very few items at that point of time, and if you now see, we are exporting a lot many items at this point of time. So our exports have been diversified, has increased manifold. So that is what one achievement of Indian planning. And we not only we have increased the export, we have also you know um, the import is also substituted. That there was import substitution in India. M- Many items which were we were importing, now we are making in our country. You can see that the brand India now it is progressing. So that is what you can see many kind of schemes like Make in India and all these things. Because of those things, we have done import substitution. That is also one of the achievement of Indian planning. The next point is development of educational, scientific, and research institutions in the country. After independence, if you see, we have very few institutions which can be worth telling. Now you can see that we have a lot many educational, scientific, and research institutions. There are so many institutions like IIT, IIM, IISc, and lot many institutions are there which are working which are established for educational, scientific and research institutions. हमारे देश में हमने बहुत सारी एजुकेशनल और साइंटिफिक और रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस का यू नो डेवलपमेंट किया है. सो दैट इज़ what our you know achievement. These these are the main achievements of our Indian planning. Now we will look at the limitations or failures of Indian planning. There are so many things which even after 70 years of planning we could not achieve. 70 years of planning के बाद भी कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जो हम कुछ ऐसे there are some failures which are worth telling. So that is what we will see. Even after 70 years of planning, we are not able to eliminate absolute poverty. There are so many people in India who are still poor and they are in absolute poverty. So that is what one of the limitations of Indian planning. Okay. Apart from that, the second failure is we we uh, we are not able to provide employment to all the persons. So there are so many people who are unemployed and they are not getting jobs. So that is also one of the you know uh, failure, or it is the limitation of Indian planning, because our growth is also called as jobless growth. Why it is called jobless growth? Because it is not able to provide employment to each and every person in India. Okay, there are so many people who are able, they want to do job but they are not able, they are not getting jobs. So that is jobless growth. Okay. सो बहुत लोगों को रोजगारी और या तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं मिलती है. दैट इज़ वन वन ऑफ द limitation of Indian planning. Okay, the next failure is we are even after 70 years of planning and we had a lot very big um, objectives in our Indian constitutions of equality and justice all, but we are not able to reduce the inequalities of income and wealth. Even after 70 years of planning, there is a vast you know amount of or large inequalities of income and wealth in India. So that is the class divide is very well known. So that is what we could not do. So that is one of the limitations of Indian planning. Apart from that, we have failed to check the growth of black money. Black money, means you can see in India there is a lot of black money in each and every sector, and people having black money and muscle power, all these things. These things we cannot stop. So that is also one of the uh, limitation of Indian planning. Apart from that, we have the Indian state has failed to reduce the concentration of economic power. If you look at the industrial sector and large industries, there are some in corporate houses which have clout in all the areas, and very few houses are uh, have most of the industries on their name. So that is one of the failure of economic Indian planning, that we are unable to reduce the concentration of economic power. Okay, so आपको आपको पता होना चाहिए कि हमारे देश में ब्लैक मनी का भी प्रॉब्लम है, और हम इकोनॉमिक पावर का कंसंट्रेशन जो हो रहा है कुछ हाथों में, कुछ कुछ लोगों के पास ज़्यादा यू नो इकोनॉमिक पावर है, उसको भी हम रिड्यूस नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Apart from that, we have failed to implement land reforms. After independence, we have implemented land reforms, but we were not able to implement land reforms properly. That is why there is a lot of inequalities of income and wealth. So in India, on social front, on economic fronts, we are unable to reduce inequalities of power, inequalities of wealth, inequalities of income. So that is what one of the very important limitation of Indian planning. Okay, so this is what about Indian planning. Now, after looking at achievements and limitations, now we'll look at in the next lecture or in the next slide what I'm going to send you tomorrow. Might be in that I'll discuss about the lessons of Indian planning. Okay, thank you so much.